evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Bokeo in Laos. You can see the LA here in Laos. Also, just a quick note, because most countries, including this one, pronounces it Lao with a silent S at the end. But in the United States where I live, we say Laos. So we pronounce the S at the end. Just another thing that us Americans can't get right. So I've just been sticking to American English pronunciations on my channel just so I'm not caught in the nuance of saying certain things strangely, like saying Paris instead of Paris. Here we say Paris, So I'll say Paris on the channel, so on and so forth, things like that. So I'm going to say Laos. But yes, I do know that it's called Lao, and most countries, including this one, say Lao. Just throwing that out there. I am aware. But let's talk about this little province here, which is actually Laos's smallest province. The name Bokeo actually translates to gem mine. And what gems do they mine here? The ones that match my nails. It turns out I didn't plan this, but they mine sapphires in Bokeo. So it's beautiful sapphires like you see here on my nails. Beautiful sapphires. Such a pretty blue color. The Mekong River flows through the border here and then down here, which is the longest and definitely the most important river in Southeast Asia. It connects so many different places together. It's a very powerful flowing river, so lots of boating things happen. There's lots of Mekong River boat tours along here. Because this region is all about tourism right now, like in a big, big way. They're really trying to encourage lots of eco-tourists here. There's actually a big national park. It's not on this map, but it's like throughout most of here, called the Namkan National Park. And in that park are an endangered species of gibbons, which are cute little monkeys. It's a gibbon sanctuary, which I'll show you some pictures of that on Google Earth, what they've done so that you can explore this area without hurting any of the wildlife or disturbing any of the gibbons is really, really interesting. I've never seen anything like it. I'll show you after the history portion. The capital city, and I'm hoping that I'm saying this right, is Huishe. I don't know if that's right, but from what I can tell, that's as close as I could get. Huishe. Right here along the river. But this area right here is kind of the most interesting because you can see it's a triple border with Laos, of course, Thailand, and Myanmar. And this is an area known as the Golden Triangle, which sounds amazing, but it has a very long and shady reputation. Pretty much the Golden Triangle region here has been known for many, many years, way back 1700s, 1800s, as a center for opium and the selling and distributing of opium. Unfortunately, unfortunately for us tonight, there's some really neat opium museums in the Thailand part that we can't look at because we're not talking about Thailand tonight. But just know that there's some interesting history museums in the Thailand part of the triangle. But what's on the Laos part of the triangle, we'll talk about in history. Because something's happening here that maybe you've never heard of. We'll talk about that in history. But let's go back a little bit first. There's not tons of history that's happened here, but there's been some interesting things. The Mekong rivers played a big role in that traders from China, you can see China's just up here, would sail up and down this river trading down here with all the various kingdoms along the river here. Thailand into Cambodia, so on and so forth. All the way down into Vietnam. And the towns here would be little stopover ports for those Chinese traders. That's how Hui Shui began. There's lots of little villages all throughout. There's actually around 30 indigenous groups to this province of Laos. So yeah, I forgot where I was going with that, but yeah, 30 different indigenous groups here. All with, of course, very distinct diet and culture and dress and ceremonies and things like that. Very famously, the French would control Laos during the period of French Indochina, they called it, when they controlled Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia down there. In this region, they built Fort Carnot here in Hoi Shui, which never really did anything. It was just kind of a barracks for soldiers just to make sure all was well along the border here with Thailand, because very famously Thailand was never colonized by any Europeans. So it never really did anything. And when the French lost control of their colonies here in the 1950s, I didn't write down the year, late 1940s, early 1950s, the fort was just abandoned, and today it's all very overgrown and haunted looking. We'll look at it on Google Earth in a minute. But yeah, besides that, big focus on ecotourism here. Of all different kinds, hiking, backpacking, experiencing all the villages here. River cruises, things like that. But what's happening over here in the Golden Triangle? In 2007, a Chinese, let's say, entrepreneur took out a 99-year lease on the land here along the river bordering Myanmar and Thailand. And he leads the King's Romans group, which originally was building casinos in Myanmar, because gambling is illegal in China up here. So they would build casinos in Myanmar, but actually China barred immigration to these casinos because of the multiple crimes that would occur there. It was pretty bad. So he left Myanmar. Laos offered him this deal and he took it, and now there is a huge Chinese pretty much city here, with of course the large King's Romans casino, the hotel resort, but it's essentially just a little China here. Everyone speaks Chinese, uses Chinese currency, Chinese food everywhere. It's pretty much a spot for Chinese people to come and legally gamble. But pretty much, I've read, and I believe what I've read, but pretty much every crime you could imagine that's associated with Southeast Asia evidently occurs here. I didn't write down the individual's name that owns this corporation, but he's considered a criminal here in the United States due to the selling of substances that are illegal, if you know what I mean. Trading things, animals and people, let's just say. It's illegal. But it goes unchecked here, evidently. There's really no crime stoppers here putting anything into motion to try to stop it. So, yeah, pretty much every very heinous crime you can think of occurs here. Americans actually aren't allowed here because of how the government has condemned the actions that occur here. Also, if you're Taiwanese, you're not allowed there either. Or Uyghur, pretty much if you're an enemy of China, you're not allowed here. So pretty devastating. It's one of the, from what I've read at least, allegedly, where movement of people against their will, let's say, occurs in vast numbers, which is horrifying. But that is essentially the history of the Bokeo region. I mean, we don't get to talk about Chinese crime cities in other countries every day now, do we? It's called, by the way, I didn't say what it's called. It's called the Golden Triangle Economic Zone. So, it's duty-free from what I understand and everything, which is how they can get away with calling it that. But that's what I've got for you. So, actually, the pictures I found on Google Earth are really interesting, like I said. And every time I've researched this place on Google Earth, I find new pictures. So I'm kind of excited to see if I find any other pictures that I haven't stumbled across before. So why don't we just hop over to the tablet, with that being said, and look at pictures on Google Earth. Here we are in Bokeo province. But of course, let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. If you don't know where Laos is, totally fine. You're about to learn. So here is Southeast Asia, which pretty much just consists of, like, for the most part, Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. If you want to get more specific, we have Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, the Philippines, so on and so forth. But French Indochina is this region here. And here is Laos. It is landlocked. Unlike every other country in Southeast Asia, it does not have a coastline. And Bokeo is right over here. You can see here's Myanmar. There's Thailand and Laos. So actually, let's just go to the problem area, to the Golden Triangle. Here it is, the Golden Triangle. I think this slideshow might show you the actual point. Here we go. That you can visit and be in all three countries at once, which is a fun thing to do wherever you are. I know I've stood on the border of California and Nevada. It's fun to stand in little places like that. But it looks like most of these pictures are from Thailand. But here we can see this little Chinese village, and here's the King's Romans Casino in all of its splendor. It's very much giving Caesar's Palace wannabe, you know, but in its own Chinese style, kind of like a little Macau, right? Some neat Chinese architecture there. Looks like Zeus or something right there, I'm not sure. Or maybe a Roman emperor. Fancy cars, big valet board there. And yeah, lots of big, like, skyscrapers basically, and they're building more right now. They're expanding all the time. So you can see here, this is the casino right here. Almost kind of lotus shaped. A big crown. Not sure if there's anything else I can show you over here. The poor 2D is not handling these towers very well. Looks like they're laying on their sides. But you can see it's all very luxurious. This little crown. The headquarters for the King's Romans group. The hotel tower right there. Big, beautiful park. Let's see if we can look at the Diamond Plaza. All lit up, all beautiful. There's a huge night market over here. Let's see if there's photos there. Look at this. Like, that's pretty big. Or I'm sure that the food is pretty good. Wow, look at all the city laid out. I'm sure the food is pretty good, but is it worth it? Is it worth risking it coming here when very dubious things happen? Pretty much any dubious thing you can think of, it occurs here, allegedly. But yeah, that's the Golden Triangle. See, you can see here's the Hall of Opium. I think there's an actual museum somewhere over here too. But yeah, someday we'll talk about, I think it's Chiang Rai over here. Someday we'll hop over there. We'll take a look at that then. Let me get resituated, making sure we're facing the right way. Here we go. Before we head over to Huishui, I want to show you the actual Gibbon sanctuary. I have to find the... Oh no, it's doing the thing. It's doing the thing. Oh no, stop. Don't do it. Please? Oh, I did it. Why would you do this? So annoying. I don't know what I do to make that happen. But I want to show you. As you can see, it's all jungly. You gotta find it. Here we go. They have built these tree houses that you can stay in, and they're all connected with these zip lines, and you can basically live like you're a little monkey in the trees. Isn't that great? Eat some good food, all healthy and fresh, right? And live in the treetops with the gibbons. That's amazing. Absolutely incredible. There's another slideshow over here. Gibbon Experience Treehouse, number 5. Fantastic. Have you ever seen anything like this? And what a perfect way to keep the canopy and the forest safe, but you're still in it, right? You're in the place where the gibbons are. You can slide along there. Wouldn't be me. That's see this child here. That'd be me just sobbing because I can't handle heights at all. But I think it's a great idea. Like you can sleep out here in the treetops. See this when you wake up. Absolutely amazing. So now we can head over to the city because they have a slideshow for the company that, I'm going to turn it this way, that is in charge of the tree houses. But I have to remember where it is first. Oh, I was in Thailand. Not today. It's the one time I don't want to go to Thailand. Any other time I'd be chomping at the bit. Let's see. It is somewhere over here. Where did it go? Here it is. The Gibbon Experience. So this is, I assume, where you'd go to be able to head over to the treetops, but they have more pictures of what it's like to be up in the trees. It's so amazing. They have running water, cozy beds, zip lining away, just being in the nature. Look at it, it's a full-on tree house. That's so amazing. So there's all kinds of hikes and things. We'll look at the Wat in a minute. Yummy food. And a little baby monkey. Wait for the signal. Do not jump one person at a time, says the sign. Oh, here's the fort. I have to show you the old French fort, all haunted and dilapidated. So yeah, the French abandoned this in the 1950s, and it has crumbled up ever since then. There's a robot. But like I said, it wasn't like there's any huge battles here, or it was just like a garrison, like an outpost, really. Just the soldiers would just kind of sit around, I guess. Pretty flowers. But everything that I read said that you absolutely have to come to this Wat, that this is like the place to be, which is a Buddhist temple, by the way, a Wat. But it has very ancient origins dating back from the 1200s. But I think that this actual temple was built a lot sooner, in like the 1700s, maybe 1800s, I can't remember. But it's very old and very beautiful. You see all these neat things around here. Big view of a Buddha, I bet you that's in Thailand. So colorful. All of the amazing artwork around here, all the sculptures, all of the architecture. There's the Buddha under the Bodhi tree. Pretty amazing. I can see why they say you have to come here. Like everything I read said, you have to come to this one. And I agree. If we go a little further down here, we can see a Thai-Lao friendship bridge. So, and it looks like they're building buildings right here, right? We'll be able to see this more in the slideshow. But it looks like they're developing this area around the bridge on the border. See right there? They're building something, looks like a big old hotel. On the other side of the bridge, on the Laos side. So I guess it's more hospitable when you're coming over from Thailand. You can see some big old towers being built there. And lots of people greeting you with Taiwanese flags. Interesting. I think those were Taiwanese flags, right? Look like it. Anyway. Alright. Let's go in the jungle. See what we can find. Like I said, every time I come into the jungle here, I find new things. So, let's see what we can come across this time. Let me reorient myself real quick. Let's back up. Okay, we're good. Just making sure that north is still north so I don't get lost. There's some caves up here. You know how I feel about caves. Not a fan. But like if I had to choose between zip lining and going into scary caves, oh, scary caves all the way. 100%. Let me see. This one is the slideshow then. Namnyu Cave. These don't look that scary though. Beautiful landscape here. These guys are about to go into the cave. Not terribly scary. Look at this though. It's a big old rock covered in trees. That's an interesting one. They look very excited to go into the cave. All these friends here. I also found some neat waterfall slideshows. Let's see if we can find any of them. Oh, here's one right here. That was easy. I found a couple, so I don't remember which is which. Yamnyon Waterfall. Oh, pretty. A little rickety bridge. Would you trust this bridge? I'm not sure I would. But again, if it was between ziplining and walking over that bridge, I'd be running over that bridge. You have no idea. Let's see. Okay, I don't want to get lost. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw the borders back up. Just in case. Bokeo province. Just so I don't get too lost. I think This slideshow is really pretty if I remember. Oh yeah, here's another one of the waterfalls. So pretty. Incredible landscape here. Wish I could read the signs. They've got little places to take photos here. And why wouldn't you? Look at that scene. Absolutely stunning. Look at, these are people down here. Can you see? These big, huge rocks and plants. It's a whole village. Yeah, I bet you they make a big income off of tourism, right? These cool rocks. And a beautiful waterfall. Let's see if this town is a slideshow. It doesn't. That's too bad. How about, let's see this area over here. That's the Gibbon experience. Here's a viewpoint. Doinalung. Let's see what views we can see from here. Oh, it's just pictures of the viewpoint. None of the view, but I bet it's amazing, right? There's another tree house. Yeah, look at this. Historic prison. We were still in Laos, right? Yeah. See, that didn't pop up last time I was researching. What historic prison? Whoa. That's very overgrown. That must be old. Maybe that's from the French times. It's very small. Why would they have built a prison way out in the middle of nowhere? Very mysterious. See, now if that had popped up earlier, I would have researched this to see why there's a prison there. I don't know. Just little things here. Oh. Wow. Looks like a rice field. Oh, piggies. Cute. Oh, little cows. Having a picnic. Baby pigs and fishies. Little berries. All kinds of fruits. Slicing up some fish to cook before you get some rice going. Looks like little potatoes, but I don't think they're potatoes. That's definitely rice. How fun. Let's do one more. Let's find one more slideshow around here. Yeah, this would be a fun place to visit. Not the place over there. Maybe this village has a slideshow. It doesn't. But let's look at this Buddhist temple. Actually, let's look at this park. Maybe we'll look at both. The park has no pictures. Buddhist temple, it's got pictures. But not a lot. It's very blue. All gathered around. Family photo at the temple. It's pretty. All Buddhist temples are pretty. Let's be real. It's like cathedrals. They're all pretty. How about this campground? Oh no, it's selfies. It's one selfie. Thank you for your photo, but I'd rather see the campground. Maybe this village has a slideshow. It doesn't. Why am I not surprised? Oops. Just checking. We're good. Okay. It's not a border, just a big busy road. How about, I guess we'll just look at this other treehouse. I suppose. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. This is the time to do it because next we're going to head back over to Guinea-Bissau. And if you liked the monkey reserve, you're going to love the saltwater hippopotamus reserve, where we're actually going to see some hippos in the ocean. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. You don't want to miss please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and a comment down below if you're still awake. I'd appreciate it. I hope that you found this video. Oh, he gets a monkey. Wow. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good night. Good night. Good night.